Honestly, there's a bunch more stories that I have here, but I'm going to skip them because I don't want to take for granted that people know why we're here. We can cover the news all day, but it's all because of Bitcoin. That's where it starts, and that's why I even have this show. So for me, this is why I Bitcoin. I want to tell you when this actually clicked for me, because it wasn't a chart or a podcast. It was watching something happen that I just could not make sense of in real time. So I was in my 30s during the great financial crisis, and I remember watching these banks, these massive, supposedly invincible institutions, get bailed out with our tax dollars. Too big to fail. You remember that. And I kept thinking, how does this work? You run the thing into the ground, and then you get handed a check from the government for the damage. Something about that just didn't sit right with me, but I didn't have the words for it yet. And then COVID hit. And in about 2 years, the United States created roughly 40% of all the dollars that had ever existed. Now let that sit with you for a second. 40% of all the money ever in 2 years. And look, that's not a conspiracy number. It's just math. You can go look it up for yourself. And here's what actually clicked for me. I'd spent my whole life thinking about money the wrong way. I thought when things got more expensive, it was because the price went up. The house, the groceries, the car, the number always got bigger, so those things must be worth more, right? But that's not what was happening. The house didn't change. It arguably got worse, actually. The thing I was measuring it with changed. They were stretching the ruler, and once I saw that, I could never unsee it. It was never really about the price of anything. It was always just about the denominator, what you're counting in. And every single dollar measuring stick on earth, every one of them, can be stretched by people you'll never meet, in rooms you'll never sit in, largely by people that you did not elect. And that was the moment it stopped being a feeling for me and it became a fact, because I finally understood what I've been looking at my whole adult life. Now here's the thing. I would bet you also feel it every week. You get the raise, the number in your paycheck goes up, and somehow you're still not further ahead. Groceries cost more, the rent went up again. That drink you used to buy in New York City for $15 is now $47. The same life you had a few years ago just quietly costs more to keep. So you're running faster, you're earning more, but you feel like you're standing in the exact same place. It's not bad luck. And that's not being bad with money. It's a tax, a silent one. And nobody voted for it. Nobody ever sent you a bill. And it comes out of every dollar you've ever earned and every dollar you've ever saved. Now, we call it inflation, but let's name it what it really is. It's the slow confiscation of your time. Because money is really just stored work. It's the hours of your life turned into something that you can hold. And when they print more of it, they're not creating wealth. They're just reaching into everybody's stored work, into their pocket, and skimming a little bit off the top. And they do it quietly, constantly, and literally forever. Welcome to the hamster wheel. The problem is you were never supposed to win this race. The track's moving backwards under your feet. And when I say you didn't vote for it, don't think that this is a left or a right thing, because it isn't. When it comes to printing money, there is no opposition party. Both sides do it, every administration, both teams, same money printer. On monetary policy, it is a uniparty. So this isn't about voting harder for the other guy next time. There are no other guys. That's the whole point. And it's exactly why you need a kind of money that doesn't care who's in charge. And here's the part that should actually make you pissed off. Money should have one job. One. It's supposed to hold the value of your work until you need it. You put your hours in today, they're still your hours when you go to spend them in 10 years. That's it. That's the entire contract, a place to keep what you earned. And it just doesn't do that anymore. So now you're told the fix is to become something you never asked to be, an investor. Study the markets, learn the charts, build a portfolio, time the cycles right. Or hand somebody a slice of everything you have to do it for you. Think about how absolutely insane that actually is. You have to take a second job, managing money, or hire a professional just to stand still, just to not lose ground. You shouldn't have to be brilliant to keep what you earned. You should be able to hold your money. So here's the question almost nobody asks. What if you could just step off the wheel? Not earn more, not budget harder, not hustle for a third income stream, just opt out of the thing that's quietly draining you. And for all of human history, the answer was, you can't. There's no exit. Every kind of money you could hold was controlled by somebody who could make more of it. Bitcoin is the first exit that's ever existed. And once you understand why it's an exit, you understand why the people who get it never go back. And it comes down to one idea that breaks the entire trick. You can't print Bitcoin. There will only ever be 21 million. The supply is fixed, the schedule is public, and there's no committee, no crisis, no emergency, no election that can unlock a single extra coin. Remember that ruler I told you about? The one they kept stretching? This is the first one in history that nobody can. That's what people mean when they say one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It sounds like a stupid slogan until this exact moment, and then you realize it's the whole point. It's the one denominator that holds still, 21 million. The ruler doesn't move and it doesn't stretch. So it's the first money in history where saving actually works the way you always thought saving was supposed to work. Where the hours you stored stay the hours you stored, you're not fighting the wheel anymore, you're entirely off of it. And here's the other thing. There's nobody in charge of it. No headquarters, no CEO, no central bank, no off switch. The record of who owns what is sitting on thousands of computers all over the world, all checking each other every few minutes, forever. There's no door to knock on, which means there's no door anyone else can knock on either. It's not run by good people instead of bad people. It's run by no people. It's run by math, and math doesn't get greedy, math doesn't get scared, math doesn't call an emergency meeting for a bailout. Remember, there are no other guys to vote for. Well, this is the version of money that doesn't need them. And it's yours. Not a number on a screen that belongs to a bank that's holding it for you. The actual thing, held by you, with a key only you control. You can carry your entire life savings across any border in the world inside your own head. You can send it to anyone, anywhere, any hour of any day without asking a single institution for permission. Look, your whole life, your money has been sitting in somebody else's building, under somebody else's rules, available on somebody else's schedule. Bitcoin is the first money that can truly, completely only be yours. So look at what you've actually got here. A money nobody can print, so the silent tax can't touch it. A money with no center, so nobody can freeze it or seize it or decide your fate in a room that you're not in. A money you hold yourself, so it's finally actually yours. That's not an investment product, that's an escape hatch from a system whose only move when it breaks is to quietly hand you the bill. So you don't buy Bitcoin because you think the price goes up. You buy it because you finally understand the game that's being played with your life's work. And Bitcoin is the first chance anyone's ever had to just stop playing. The price going up over time, that's not the reason. That's just what tends to happen when the rest of the world slowly figures out the same thing that you just did. I'm not going to lie to you, Bitcoin, because everybody else will actually. This is not free money and it's not a sure thing. The idea is sound, but the road is rough. Rules can change. The technology faces real long-term challenges. And if you hold it yourself and you lose your key, there's no help desk, there's no second chance, and the price will test you. It'll fall hard and fast and at the worst possible moment, almost like it's designed to make you forget every word I just said. So don't bet the rent. Don't borrow to do it. Own an amount you can hold through the pain without flinching, because the people who lose with Bitcoin, they almost never lose because they were wrong. They lose because they didn't really understand what they were holding. So they sold it back at the bottom to the people who did. But if you understand it, if you really understand it, then the drops stop being scary. They're just the price of admission and an opportunity to the one thing the system was never supposed to let you have, an exit. The wheel keeps turning, whether you're on it or not. I stopped running on it the day I understood what I was actually looking at. And Bitcoin is the first time you get to make that same choice. That was true the day Bitcoin was born. It's true today. And it'll be true long after this video stops being new. So like me, do your own work and study. You'll be glad you did. And I'll see you tomorrow on the next Daily Wolf. Peace.